We are just hours away from the 2026 Men's Olympic Hockey gold medal game between the US and Canada. And this is going to be a game for the ages. I think personally, this will be the greatest stakes game I've ever seen in my lifetime. So I wanted to come on and talk about some things that I think are going to be the most important factors that will determine the outcome of this hockey game. Now first, let's just mention the history. Last year we saw the Four Nations face-off where Canada beat the US 3-2 overtime off a Connor McDavid winner. The last time these teams faced in a gold medal game was 2010 when Sidney Crosby scored the golden goal at the Vancouver Olympics. This is a legacy-defining game for these players. There's never going to be a bigger game that they're going to compete in. So storylines coming into this game, you have some injuries. Josh Morrissey out, unfortunately, for Canada. Tage Thompson was questionable, but it does sound like he's going to play for the States. And Sidney Crosby, apparently there's like a 70% chance he's going to play. Canada just released their game day graphic and Crosby was on it. So I think the likelihood of seeing Crosby is pretty much guaranteed. Canada's game plan, in my opinion, first of all, you have to force the US to dump the puck in, allow Jordan Binnington to get out, get some puck touches, and start the breakout. He's one of the best puck-playing goalies in the NHL. And if you can do that, get those quick exits, don't allow the US to establish zone time, generate chances, use their active D, and then go back up ice the other way and try and get some chances off the rush. The next key aspect is you need to get traffic in front of Connor Hellebuyck, send shots from the point. Obviously, those high danger inner slot chances are important, but when you look at Connor Hellebuyck and when he struggles, a lot of time it's when there's traffic and point shots go on. Look at that series against Colorado back in 2024. Look at that series against St. Louis in 2025 last year. And then you got to get the forecheck going. Make Quinn Hughes' life miserable and the rest of the Americans' decor. The US are a physical team and you need to have that pushback. And the last point is just let McDavid and McKinnon work their magic. If they can get in the offensive zone, create chances off the rush, off the cycle, then I like Canada's chances because they're probably going to bury at least one. And then the US, their game plan, first of all, clog the neutral zone, limit Canada's rush chances. Canada has generated the most chances off the rush of any team. The US have defended it the best of any team. And with players like McDavid and McKinnon, you cannot allow them to get breakaways and odd man rushes because they will bury you. And then next up, forecheck, overwhelm the Canadians' D. I think the Canadians' D core is a lot weaker than the Americans. I don't think they're as good as moving the puck. I don't think they have the same mobility. So when you have players like JT Miller, Vincent Trocheck, obviously the Tkachuk brothers, they're going to make life miserable for the Canadians' D. And win pucks back, establish possession, get offensive zone time. And then once they have that established offensive zone time, activate those defensemen. You have Quinn Hughes. He's a threat every time he touches the puck at the blue line. You've got Werenski, who loves to cut to the middle and take those downhill shots. And the rest of the D-core can chip in offensively too. When the US gets the defense involved, they are scary. And then lastly, physicality with discipline. You can play that physical brand of hockey that they're trying to go for, but you cannot afford to take penalties because Canada's power play is lethal. And that leads me to one of the biggest X factors. It is the special teams. Canada is 44% in the power play, the US is 29%. Penalty kill, Canada is 73%, the US are 100%. I think each team's probably going to get at least one, maybe two power plays in this game. And a power play goal could absolutely make the difference in a game like this where the margin between these teams is so small. The face-off circle is going to be key, especially on the penalty kill. The US have a ton of really good face-off guys like Miller, like Trocheck. The Canadians have Horvat, but that's really it. And of course, both the teams have lethal power play units. And another big factor is obviously the goaltending. Binnington versus Hellebuyck, a rematch. We saw these two face off at Four Nations. Ultimately, Binnington outplayed Hellebuyck. We saw them play in a 7-game series in the playoffs last year, and Hellebuyck was terrible, but his team did win. Hellebuyck's been ridiculous this tournament, nearly a .950 save percentage. Binnington's been decent, a .914. But ultimately, it's going to come to who has that ability to make the right saves in the clutch moments, because Binnington did that in overtime at Four Nations. Hellebuyck was unable to do that. Binnington has proven that he can be clutch. Hellebuyck is not, but this is a massive opportunity for him. And when you look at the numbers, like these teams are so even. Canada's scoring slightly more. They have the exact same amount of goals against. Canada has more chances for. The US is better at preventing chances against. And then when it comes to those high danger chances, inner slot shots for and against, the US generates more and allows less. I do think that the US have a slightly better roster. I think their defense is more mobile, it's more involved in offense, and it's stronger defensively. I think the goaltending battle is pretty even. And for the forward cores, I actually really like both teams. The coaching battle is going to be interesting because who lines up against who? Do you have the Matthews line trying to shut down the McDavid-McKinnon line? Maybe McDavid and McKinnon are split up and you have McDavid, Celebrini, Wilson to start. Is Sidney Crosby going to play? That's another huge X factor. If he's in, how much does he play? Because he's obviously battling through something pretty bad right now. Eichel and the Kachucks, who's going to try and shut them down? Is it the Suzuki, Stone, Marner combo? You have Wilson, Bennett, and Marchand as a chaos line. Maybe they can provide that physical edge that Canada needs. I think this game is going to come down to the game breakers. And the US, you have Quinn Hughes, you have Austin Matthews, Eichel, Kachuk, but none of those guys are on the same level as Nathan McKinnon or Connor McDavid. And you can kind of throw Cale Makar in there as well, but I do think Quinn Hughes is pretty much even with him. And because of that, I think that this game's going to come down to the wire. I think it's going to be low scoring, not necessarily low event, but I don't think there's going to be a ton of high danger chances just because both these teams are going to be locked in defensively. It's going to be incredibly difficult to generate anything through the neutral zone. It's going to be a tight checking game. There's going to be a physical edge. And ultimately, I think it's going to be a 2-1, maybe 3-2 score in favor of Canada. And it's going to be similar. It's going to be McKinnon, a McDavid, or a Crosby scoring a big goal. And hopefully I don't jinx it because I think this could easily go either way. I think the odds are legitimately a 50-50 split. So those are my thoughts on this upcoming gold medal game. Let me know yours down below. What do you think is going to be the biggest X factor for this game? Who do you think is going to win? What do you think the score is going to be? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for tomorrow's recap.